Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest tonight is a Grammy award-winning hip-hop legend, actor, and member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His documentary series, Hip Hop Was Born Here, is streaming now on Paramount+. Let's take a look.
What I want to know is, what was your very, very first exposure to hip-hop?
There was dudes in Hollis that used to bring turntables out on the front step.
I remember that.
The next thing you know, I became DJ Run.
And here is Run DMC.
Please welcome back to the show our friend LL Cool J, everybody. Hello, friend.
Hello. How
I'm
you
so
doing?
happy to have you here.
Glad to be here, man. Glad
It's
to be
really,
here.
it's really lovely to have you as a guide through this hip hop history.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, it's a wonderful New York story, spending time in all 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
And sort of early on, talk about like that's why, in order for hip hop to work, it had to work everywhere.
Well, you know, what it's really about is not only just the geographic location, but it's about something deeper. I think, like nowadays, when people think about hip hop, they see the chains, they think about the jewelry, they see these people on the internet showing off money and cars. But this is about something deeper. This is about the underdog story. It's about the spirit behind the original songs, the spirit behind the original music, why it was really done by kids that felt marginalized and felt like this was a way to feel empowered. And so, you know, in a time where I think in a lot of ways, you know, hip hop is seen as a little bit more shallow than it used to be. This is an opportunity for people to be a fly on the wall and see where it really came from and why it became the phenomenon that it is today and why it went global. This is about the real spirit of it. So hip hop was born here, not only in New York.
It's funny you say that too, you know, because I think also, you know, hip hop has this reputation for like beef culture. And yet when you and I, like, you know, you were the first generation I knew, and yet you were always rapping, and your generation was always name dropping the previous generation. It seemed like there was a great amount of respect, even when you started, for the people that you had heard when you were growing up.
100%. Well, I grew up, you know, I became a fan of hip hop at 8 years old. And I was like the generation that heard the first tapes that were from the first parties. When Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 were the Furious 4, when, you know, Treacherous 3, the Crash Crew, all of these early groups, you know what I'm saying?
It is so funny. You're like, I'm so old, I remember when there were only 4.
Dinosaurs, T-Rexes, you know what I mean? T-Rexes on turntables, absolutely. So, you know, just growing up in it and writing and just being energized, I just wanted to do something that just showed the world what the story was really about, because there's more to it than just Billboard charts and stadium shows. Like, there's a whole world of fans out there that really want to know about Run and really want to know about Salt and Pepper and really want to know about Roxanne Shante and Big Daddy Kane and Grandmaster Caz of the Cold Crush. And all of these, some of them are unsung heroes that, you know what I'm saying, the world gets to experience and understand. You know?
Also, there's, you know, cassette tape culture, which is obviously a huge part of what you talk about. So when you were 8 years old, like, were you sort of out there trying to get your own, you know, copies of these cassette tapes?
So the way it worked for me was, at that time I was in Long Island. I was born in Long Island, raised in Queens, but I was in Long Island, and there was a lot of foster kids next door, and a lot of them were from the Bronx.
Yeah.
So I was getting hit with all the tapes. So I would hear all of these tapes. When hip-hop was first starting, I'm hearing the tapes. I'm going crazy. I got the Mickey Mouse voice. I'm rapping, you know what I mean? I'm excited. And then it kind of went from there to this point where, you know, the tapes kind of spread throughout the city and a lot of car services. And like the first time people really went viral, it was because there were car services like OJ's where the drivers would be playing these tapes and the people in the back seat would say, "What's that tape? I want to buy that tape." And that was kind of how you went viral back then, a little way.
So if you were making your own rap music, you would sort of connect with these, you know, sort of car services and
No.
Okay.
It just had to work out for you.
Just worked out.
Yeah. What you're describing would be like ingenious. That would be like splitting the atom. That would be like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna get with the car services and I'm gonna, you know, like.
So if you could time travel, you'd go back and be like, I've got a plan.
If I could time travel, I'd go back and start every successful company, write every successful rap record. I might start Amazon.
I guess if you went back in time
and
and the only thing you went back in time and did was this car service plan, that would probably be misusing what you knew about the future. You also talk about boombox culture.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, that was a big deal, right?
You got to have a big boom box. You got to bring it to the party.
Yep.
Make it happen.
How much be honest, did you think about batteries?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Because I would say, like, nothing would be worse than I would imagine having, like, this really tricked out boombox,
Right.
all the best tapes, and then you show
Yeah.
up and it's like,
And even worse if you don't have your cord with you. You know what I mean? As backup.
But the cord doesn't look cool. Like batteries, at least,
No, when you got the boom box, they'll tolerate the cord.
Okay.
Now they'll tolerate it.
If the boom box is good enough, they'll tolerate the cord?
They'll tolerate it. Baby, you mind if I plug this in? No. Yeah, no, they'll tolerate it.
Have a good enough boombox, they'll tolerate the cord.
I promise you.
These are hip hop wisdom.
These are life wisdoms.
I have so much more to ask you. We'll be right back with more from LL Cool J. Welcome back to Late Night. We're here with LL Cool J. It's very lovely how you talk to, all these icons of the genre. And you ask them a lot about legacy. It
Yeah.
seems as though it means a lot to them to both have a legacy and to be asked about it.
100%. I mean, these artists basically contributed to something that, made people's lives better in a different way. A lot of people were trying to escape pain, trying to escape whatever it is that was going on in their life. And as you all know, music is a way to kind of time travel. It's a way to escape pain. It's a way to fall in love. It's a way to be motivated. And, so legacy is a big part of it.
Obviously, music's a part of your legacy, but also fashion. I think you deserve a lot of fashion legacy.
Yeah, I put a couple of clothes in, a little bit. I like clothes.
You wore some Jordans on a...
I had some Air Jordans, first Air Jordans on the album cover when Mike was a rookie.
It's a pretty big deal. Got ahead of that. Didn't need a time machine for that.
No,
you just got it right.
Not for that one.
You claim you coined the term GOAT.
Claim.
Well, I'm gonna give...
Okay, claim. Interesting way to phrase that. Claim.
Well, here's the album, and it is greatest of all time, and it is GOAT here, GOAT.
Yeah.
So
if I greatest of all, I'll tell you where I got it.
Okay.
I got greatest of all time from Muhammad Ali, obviously.
Yep.
And I got GOAT from Earl the Manigault, who was a street basketball player in New York. I took the two together and I made the acronym GOAT, GOAT, greatest of all time, and then it just kind of spread throughout the world.
Right.
And this album was called GOAT from the year 2000, and that's the first time that it appeared in the world. And,
All right, I want to make sure you've dampened my skepticism. I'm sorry I said it that way.
You could ask ChatGPT. It might hallucinate, but you could.
I'd prefer getting it from you.
Gemini. Maybe you want to ask Gemini. It might. But I'm saying, this is reality.
All right, good. I'll take it.
It's reality.
Who would we be surprised musically? What music do you like that maybe we would be surprised by?
Well, if you're looking at me through stereotypical eyes, then anything I'd name other than hip hop, right?
Yeah, that's
but I love, come on, man. I love Bob Dylan. I love Journey. I love Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I love Charlie Parker. I love Miles Davis. I love the Temptations. I love the Fearless Four. I love the Crash Crew. I love, the Sex Pistols. I love all kinds of music. You know
That's
what I'm
great.
saying?
I would imagine
music.
that's a really important part about being a musician is being open to all of it. Like
Huge.
that.
Like I came up, my grandfather was a jazz. He played the tenor sax in a jazz band, so I listened to Tommy Dorsey, Jimmy Dorsey, Glenn Miller, the Glenn Miller Orchestra, a lot of big band music. Jimmy Smith at the Penthouse. Cyndi Lauper. Madonna. Like you know what I'm saying? You name it.
It's this is it's very lovely because of course you're paying a lot of a tribute to those who came before you. Also, obviously, everybody helps out everybody else. Is it true that Ad Rock was one of the first guys? Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys, one of the first guys who heard one of your demos.
100%. So there was a record called "It's Yours." It was by Tila Rock and DJ Jazzy J. It was the first time that people saw the Def Jam logo. It was Def Jam Productions. It was on a label called Party Time Streetwise. I took the phone number, wrote the phone number down, sent the demo in. Ad Rock was friends with Rick Rubin, so he would listen to all the demos that would come in. He happened to listen to mine, and here we are on the couch with a hood on and shades at night.
Not bad. This is it. This is the original one you saw.
That is the original. Wow, you got it.
That's
so
amazing.
That is the exact. That is
and
absolutely.
it's so funny. I mean, I grew up looking at albums. I never thought to read the address. I feel like
baby.
that
I know
was the
phone
future
number.
was right there.
I know the phone number.
Still?
Yeah, I still know it. I still remember it. I don't want to say it though, because then they'll start with the Illuminati nonsense or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a weird number. You know what I mean?
Now I want to hear it. A lot of attention has been paid to the fact that I'm going to shift gears drastically here. Jaws, 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Okay.
Not enough people are talking about how it's the 26th anniversary of your shark movie, Deep Blue Sea.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of yours as an actor. I love this movie. People talk about sharks in this movie, but you had a co-star who was not a shark but was a problem.
Oh, you mean my bird, the pet bird? Yeah, he was. He really liked my earring.
Okay.
So like he was like. I ended up looking like a UFC fighter by the time we, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like chewing on my ear, so we had to swap him out. We actually had to get rid of one.
Really?
Yeah, he wouldn't stop nibbling on my earlobes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's rather aggressive, you know what I mean? Can you imagine?
It is crazy being in a movie like that and everybody's like, what were the sharks like?
Harassed by a parrot for like hours.
And what happened? Do you know, be honest, do you know what happened to the parrot?
We ate him. Sorry to all the vegetarians. No, I'm kidding. No, we just swapped him out. You know, had him with a little lettuce cups.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sharks will eat anything.
Little plum sauce with the lettuce cups.
Now, you know what? Now I kind of want to try it.
It sounds good.
Your co-producer for this series is maybe not who people would expect. You did it with Peyton Manning's production company.
Yeah. Like hip-hop, the master of hip-hop. No, Actually, you know, our production companies were talking, and they were going back and forth to figure out if we could find something to work together on. And I had a conversation with Peyton, and he wanted to work on something, and so we had this idea. And I said, you know what, this could be a cool way for us to just work together on something. Plus, I figured this is an opportunity for people who may not necessarily be exposed to the early hip-hop. They may know all of the pop hip-hop nowadays, but may not know the origins. This would be a window in for them. So I said, you know, let's do it. And I'm glad we worked together. I really like him, like his brother. And, you know, here we are.
Couple of goats got together.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Well, it's wonderful.
3 goats.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
3 goats. Yeah, 3 goats.
Thanks for being here, man. It's always such a pleasure to see you.
Chef.
LL Cool J, everybody. Hip Hop was born here and streaming now on Paramount Plus. We'll be right back with Vanessa Kirby.